This is the garbage that I'm talking about. That's completely unnecessary. I don't even want to watch this. Hi everybody, welcome back to watch Riverdale with me. Today we are on episode 15 of season 5 and it's called The Pussycats, which means we're probably getting a return of Josie and the Pussycats, which also means there's definitely gonna be some singing this episode, but you know, that's okay. Maybe it won't be as bad as we think. Okay, so not gonna lie, I completely forget what happened with the Pussycats because they did leave really early on in the show. I think like season 2 or something. And I knew because the actor who played Josie went to go play in Katie Keene. I believe that was the main reason. However, Katie Keene also was cut. Bet you thought that Riverdale was gonna get cut soon, but here we still are with Riverdale. But yeah, let's go. Okay, one of their names is Melody Valentine. And the other one I remember, didn't she have a thing with Jughead at one point? Could be wrong. So Melody Valentine was studying to be a lawyer, now is a writer, and she's now befriended the other Pussycat.
Write and publish.
And they're roommates. So they reconnected.
I'm so proud of you. You fearlessly chased.
But where's Josie? So one of them's Melody and the other girl's Val. It's coming back now. Okay, so looks like Melody's publisher or whatever says that Val's too small of an actor to play. But now she's already told everyone that Val's gonna be acting in her movie, and apparently Val doesn't know she wants to get married to her boyfriend. So that's what's up with them.
One single from the multi-platinum recording artist Josie McCoy.
So Josie is a pop star baby, and so she went solo. Did she go solo in the show? I think that's what happened. They like broke up. Josie didn't go show up to her concert in Berlin. Who wants to make a bet she's in Riverdale?
The world wants to know what happened.
Oh, guess who just walked into Pops? So it's gonna be a musical style episode.
There were days when the sun was so cruel that all the tears turned into
I'm still traumatized by this whole performance. Look, I'm not sitting here and saying that Josie or, you know, whatever the actress's name is, has a bad voice and can't sing. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm ever saying. I'm not criticizing their vocals abilities most of the time. What I'm saying is it just seems so out of place when they do singing numbers out of the show. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not technically a musical, because not every single episode is musical. So when they randomly have an episode that's just randomly throwing in singing for no reason, it's so annoying and it's so weird and I hate it. This is less cringy than most of the times they make us sit through. But it's still like, it's still so weird and I hate it. That's what I hate. I'm not arguing or nagging on their singing voices and their talent. I'm sure they're all talented individuals in the singing department. I'm just saying there's no place for it in this show. It's weird. It's unnecessary. Let's just act normally. Or rebrand Riverdale as a musical show. Not just whenever we feel like it, we're gonna throw in some singing. We don't want it. At least I don't. Let me know what you think, because I absolutely cannot stand when they sing. So Tabitha's dream is to franchise Pops, but she needs more capital. Is anyone else shocked that Mr. Weatherby is still the principal of Riverdale? Like, didn't this man join the cult? Wasn't he playing like the Gargoyle King game? Like, he was involved in every single stupid plotline. Yet he's still standing here being the principal. Fair enough. Now, I take that back. I know why this man is still principal. Josie, for some reason, wants to use their recording studio in the school. So Mr. Weatherby's like, don't pay, just teach a class. Smart man. This is how he ropes her in. He's a businessman. He should be running Pearls and Posh with Veronica. One of the investors that invested in Chad's scam is coming to Veronica being like, give me your money. But if Veronica gives her money, she's broke. So Veronica's like, hey, why don't you invest in this new franchise of Pops? Guys, we might beat the singing record. This is now we're at like 2 songs. Okay, as much as I hate on singing, this is a good example of when to have a little sprinkle of singing. So Josie's teaching a class on music, but this scenario makes sense. It's a music class at a school. The choir is doing their thing. You know, that makes sense. If Riverdale wants to throw in some singing, that's the way to do it every once in a while. Not every 10 minutes throwing in a random song in a random scenario that we didn't ask for. That makes no sense. So Josie came back to Riverdale to work on songwriting. And I mean, why wouldn't she? There's so much to write about. There's Palladium. There is the Highway Killer. Mothman, you name it, Riverdale has got it.
No, we even made this this sexy fireman's calendar to raise money for the fire station.
Literally, no one asked. How dare Riverdale remind me of that scene?
But anyway, enough about me.
That's so weird. Josie coming with the smoke. She's like, we're just acquaintances, not friends. Stop asking me to do a benefit concert.
Betty, you and I have spoken all of what, one time in high school? If I could just... Cheryl, you once sent me a pig's heart.
I think Josie just left because she was smart. Because all these people are crazy. Did Josie and Sweet Pea have a thing before? I honestly cannot remember. And why is he just... Sweet Pea just casually reappeared out of nowhere and just on his motorcycle right outside the door pops. Ooh, so the Pussycats have reunited. There seems to be some tension between Melody and Josie.
I mean, I don't know if either of you do any performing still.
She wants a collab. She wants a feature. Song 3. Oh. Josie's sitting there watching. They just pick up and go sing. See, like, the thing is, she's a good singer. And I guess it's okay in this episode that there's more singing than usual because they're talking about the Pussycats, you know, which were the musical group of the Archie's show series. So it makes more sense than usual. But it's still a bit too much. Like, Josie just asked, do you guys still perform? We don't need a single performance of each of them, of Melody and Val performing. They could have just been like, yeah, we still perform, and maybe do a 10-second flashback, not a minute song each of them still performing, you know? I'm not gonna lie to you guys. That one single male dancer is making me very uncomfortable. Like, what's the purpose of him? This could have been a great Val solo performance. Like, it's weird. Oh, so Josie just straight up ditched those two. And Josie's like, oh, well, I got the opportunity to tour with my dad. And they're like, no, we're talking about before that, when you stopped calling us, stopped hanging out, and stopped playing gigs.
No, stop playing gigs. We thought we'd done something wrong.
She shouldn't have ditched her friends, man. They could have been a hot hit girl band. Which I have a feeling that's what's gonna happen near the end. Okay. I am willing to let the other 4 song numbers we've heard in this episode slide, because they kind of make sense. Even though the first one, they could have just said it with words. All the 4 of them, they kind of make sense because they're following Josie, who is a singer in the show, and the Pussycats, who were singers in the show as well. They're still singers in the show. So all 3 of them are singers, so it makes sense that they're singing, you know, reliving their musical journeys, telling their stories through music. This is where I have an issue. This was completely unnecessary. Why are we adding it in? Even if I'm putting aside my own biases, okay? And let's just say that, you know, all the singing that we heard so far, that's totally fine. Why are we adding this and taking away from the other singing? This episode should all be about the singing of Josie and the Pussycats. And then they throw in this. This is the garbage that I'm talking about. That's completely unnecessary. I don't even want to watch this.
Well, you may not know this about me, but I am a performer as well as
Like-
a businesswoman, and I've always romanticized singing diners.
Like, what is the point of that?
We have a proud tradition of singing here at Pops.
Singing is something we can definitely talk about.
Like,
Oh yeah, talking isn't exactly what I had in mind.
oh my, like, why?
Little shop of horrors, little shop of terror, call a cop. Little shop of horrors, no,
Like, what's the point of
little shop,
this? This adds nothing. This adds nothing. If they really wanted to do a cover of Little Shop of Horrors or whatever the name of this song is, they could have found a better way to seamlessly make that work. Why? That's so random. They're in a business meeting and she's like, I'm a performer, let's sing. Like, there's no point to that. There's no point to that. Why? Oh my god, this is why I hate the show. Like, the other numbers, fine. This, which that is usually what happens when singing in Riverdale exists. That. It can be done properly. Like I said, the other songs, although I don't necessarily enjoy them, the ones by Josie and the other Pussycats, they make sense in this episode. Kind of. That makes no sense. That's unnecessary. That's what I'm talking about. Riverdale needs to stop that, please. Like, why is Kevin randomly there singing and dancing? Actually, he's not even singing. He's just dancing. There's no point. Like, why is this random lady who we've just met, who's investing, singing? Tony, who we haven't seen in this whole season, is all of a sudden singing. Kevin's dancing in a booth. Why? They didn't even try to make those milkshake props seem real. My new favorite thing is just noticing the brands that have deals for product placement. They just finished their song, their beautiful Little Shop of Horrors musical song, and they're talking. And guess what's just on the table? Casually, an Old Navy bag on the table. Like, why is there an Old Navy bag on the table? All of a sudden, Riverdale, which we don't know what year this is set in, if it's in like 1962 or 2020. We don't know when this is set in. But all of a sudden, there's just casually an Old Navy somewhere in Riverdale. And it's just, like, whose Old Navy bag is that? Why is it casually just on the table in frame? Like, they're not even trying. They make so much money, they don't care. They're rubbing in our faces. They're like, that Old Navy bag, that's a huge deal we have there. That's money in our pockets to make season 6. Haha, suckers. Ugh, guys, it just turned into a YouTube sponsorship. Like, it's not even just a product placement anymore. I can't.
Also, what, pray tell, is in that bag?
The most adorable
Look, they didn't even
baby
try.
jeans from Old Navy you've ever seen. And thanks for asking.
You can straight up get like a YouTube sponsorship style in Riverdale now. Oh my god, that was, wow, they're either desperate or just really want to rub it in our faces that they're doing just fine. Josie and her mom just reconnected. Also, she used to be the mayor. How could I forget? So her father passed away. Her mom called her right before she was supposed to go on stage. So that's why she left Berlin and she's coming back home to Riverdale, which makes sense, where she grew up with her family. See, now that's a good friend. Melody over there wrote her agent that I'm not interested in making my book into a movie unless my girl stars in it. 5 seasons in, I just realized why they're called Pop's Chocolate Shop, because they started selling chocolate milkshakes. Crazy. So this random investor who Veronica's friends with is trying to get Tabitha to change up her menu, and she's like, no way, sir. Standing up for what she owns.
We're gonna help you and the gang.
Let's save Riverdale. Woo! Sorry, every time Archie is on screen and KJ Appa is acting, all I can think about are his TikToks. And if you haven't seen them, you're probably better off not seeing them. but I just can't take this man seriously. Ever. The freaking creepy doctor that Betty, I'm literally crying by the way, because this, I don't know, it just caught me so off guard. The freaking creepy doctor that Betty always visits in the morgue, who's like doing sketchy things and giving her information, which a random person like her should not be getting, is casually just hanging out at the White Worm ready to see the Pussycats every night, and just his fedora and everything, it just caught me so off guard. Go off, Dr. Curdle Jr., live your life.
Did someone die?
No, Miss Cooper. I'm a huge Josie fan.
So weird. Is this like song 6, I think we're at? See, like, again, this, I can't hate on like the placement of it too much, because it does make sense. They're doing a reuniting concert thing. So it makes sense. Again, I'd prefer like no singing in this show, but can't have that. Does it make anyone else uncomfortable when they just pan to audience members watching the show? Like, it's so uncomfortable. These 3 girls, really talented, really good singers. Just too much singing in this show, unless you're gonna name it a musical.
And heck, even Jughead Jones.
No one needed a reminder that he sang. Of course, Josie's singing in a very emotional song, something your dad wanted her to sing, and Tony's going into birth. Didn't see that coming at all. I don't know if creepy Dr. Curdle Jr. is the one you want delivering your baby.
I can do it. We prepared for a home birth. I just need another pair of hands.
Okay. So I guess Fangs has training to do an at-home birth. I think you still need someone who's trained to do a home birth. Doesn't have to be a doctor, but you still need, I don't know what they're called, but you need someone. And Cheryl's also gonna help.
I'll do it.
Isn't it also Kevin's baby? The investor was inspired by Josie and it's like, if she will put in a good name and be the face of Pops, then I'm all in. So Veronica's business is saved. Tabitha gets her dream. She gets to keep her money and invest in a good opportunity. Everyone's happy. So Josie is gonna go on tour with the Pussycats. She's no longer just a solo act for this tour. Love that. I mean, like, I guess in dire circumstances, this would happen, but like Cheryl and Fangs just single-handedly deliver a baby? Okay, fair enough. They just deliver it in the kitchen? Or the speakeasy or something? Okay, Cheryl just came out of the kitchen. Look guys, it's their baby. I think that's her actual kid too. Correct me if I'm wrong. So this is like an interesting dynamic here, because what was it? It was Kevin, they all 3 agreed that this was their kid. And now Kevin seems a little bit less involved since there's like tension between him and Fangs.
He's really beautiful.
Which I guess we'll see more of that come future episodes. Yo, Josie must have like money, because they just got a full decked out Pussycats tour bus overnight. Just look how like he was joking and then instantly in his instantly on a snap he gets just dead serious.
I could drive the bus, or I could be your roadie, or I could be your... I could be your anything.
Love that. Also, I love how we haven't seen this character in years. So this man named Toot Sweet arrived out of nowhere, said, I used to tour with your dad, and he was involved in voodoo, petty crimes, and debt. Out of nowhere. Okay.
I believe your father died of natural.
Are you saying that my father was murdered?
Oh, yeah, I realize this must come as a shock.
Her father was murdered? So this tour is gonna turn into a detective tour. Oh, Dr. Curdle Jr., his character development is him being a Josie fan. Just had to move locations. But yeah, that was today's episode. There was a lot of singing. A lot of it did make sense in the context of the show, like the benefit concert, Josie and the Pussycats, who are actual singers in the show, so I can't hate on that too much. That Little Shop of Horrors one was so unnecessary though. I hated every second of that. But yeah, basically the overarching theme of this episode was that me explaining how about I do not like their singing scenes. Like, either make this show a musical, like a musical show, like every single episode consistent, or just get rid of the music altogether. Or do this once in the blue moon when Josie and the Pussycats come back in town and put on a concert. That makes sense. And I don't know, I kind of enjoyed this episode. Although 50% of it was singing. Not too bad of an episode. I quite enjoyed their storyline. I would not mind a couple of episodes of following that group on tour and her trying to see if her father was murdered. Also, very random that they threw that in the end, but it wouldn't be Riverdale. Anyways, so yeah, that was the episode. We'll see what happens next week. Kind of wish these characters are staying in for longer, but, you know, can't have it all. But yeah, thanks for watching Riverdale with me. We'll see you guys next week, and